Romantic, and me fantastic. Touch me on me back, she says I'm Mr. Rose.
We going.
All right, guys. So it's your host, as always, Steve Shears, with another episode of Bend, Don't Break. So this week we're in week 5. As you guys just noticed, had to hype myself up, get ready for the show like I always do. So let's jump into these matchups this week. Definitely a couple of good ones. So So for our first matchup, we have Neo Cortex versus Las Vegas Red Zone Weapon. Final score 161 to 107, giving Neo Cortex the win by 54 points. So let's jump into Neo Cortex's top 3 players this week. First up, we have Brandon Cooks, who had 22 fantasy points from 5 catches, 107 yards, and 1 touchdown. Second, we have Matt Forte, who contributed 21 fantasy points to his team from 18 carries, 71 yards, and 1 touchdown. Big play this week was a 7-yard touchdown catch, giving Bears the win in the 4th quarter with 24 seconds left. Last, we have Cardinals defense and special teams. 17 fantasy points, allowing their opponents only to earn 17 points, having 4 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 sack. And here is Neo Cortex's top 3 players.
It's not my fault he sucks platypus eggs.
Definitely a heartbreaking defeat for Red Zone Weapon. Neo Cortex, good win. I'm going to put a little spotlight on Red Zone. He can't knock you this week, buddy. You did everything you could to win. Looking at your bench, even if you had dropped in, the only player you could have dropped in was Hearns. But even with that, he probably wouldn't have made a big difference in your loss. So I got to congratulate you. Good job making some changes to your team. Definitely going for a win this week. Unfortunately, you just didn't come with it. Next week, maybe when Lynch probably returns, you probably get a win sometime soon. So Neo Cortex, good job. Next week, so keep it rolling with the wins. And now we have Ghost Spotter versus Conkers Loves TDs. Final score 156 to 136, giving Ghost Spotter the win by 20 points. So let's jump into those top 3 players this week for Ghost Sparta. First up, we have DeAndre Hopkins yet again with 27 fantasy points from 11 catches and 169 yards. Second up, we have Carson Palmer, who had 18 fantasy points, threw for 161 yards, and gave his team 3 touchdowns. Last, we have a man making a return finally, Mr. Rondone Hyde, Carlos Hyde, who contributed 16 fantasy points from 21 carries and 93 yards, also giving the 49ers 1 touchdown. And here is Ghost of Sparta's top 3 players.
I am the greatest warrior!
Another fantastic win for Ghost of Sparta. Little deja vu, apparently. Changing your quarterback when he's not going to be playing this week apparently be a trend for you. So I don't know what to say, but definitely a good win. What can I say, Conkers? Really, really bad team management there, buddy. Luck was out. You had Murray and you had Rawls both on the bench. Definitely could have put out Sproles over Murray. Ingram's taking more of a backseat role, so or the backfield with the Saints is definitely more spread out now. So you definitely could have switched him up probably as well. But when it really hurt you was not putting in another QB, and even looking at the waivers, the only QB you could have picked up, which you probably wouldn't have, was Blake Bortles. He would have barely got you your win, but like I said, definitely probably one you probably would have just skipped over anyways. So what can I say? When it came down to this matchup, it was all about team management. And with that, goes to Sparta. Good job on your win. Good job on your team management. And good luck to next week. Next matchup, we have Lincoln to win it versus Jiggly Slut. Final score, 151 to 154. Giving Jiggly Slut the win by 3 points. Jiggly Slut's top 3 players this week are Eli Manning, 28 fantasy points, throwing for 441 yards, getting his team 3 touchdowns, and only getting 1 pick this week. Next, we have Willie Snead, who had 21 fantasy points, 6 catches, and going for 141 yards. Last, we have Arian Foster, who had 20 fantasy points from 19 carries, running for 41 yards, also having 9 catches for 77 yards. And this is Jiggly Slut's top 3 players this week. So jumping into our closest matchup this week, Jigs took the win by 3 points. Really good job. I got to give it to Jigs. Does it again. Unfortunately for Lincoln, you go on, not getting a win this week. Definitely thought you could pull it off. Fortunately, just a couple players didn't go out for you. I know with Stafford, your QB definitely hurting you. Them taking him out the game. You probably could have put in Drew Brees going against the Philly defense versus Detroit going up against Arizona's defense. But, you take a loss and you go next week, hopefully you get it from there. Jiggly Slut, no taking anything from your win. Definitely solid win. You did everything you needed to, and you move on next week. Take it easy. Now up, we have Peekapoo versus Donkey Kong D's Nuts. Final score, 116 to 137, giving DK the win by 21 points. So let's jump into DK's top 3 players this week. First up, we have Le'Veon Bell, who had 22 fantasy points from 21 carries and running for 111 yards and 1 touchdown. The big play was a game-winning touchdown by bringing the ball over the plane and giving Steelers the win. Next, we have Emmanuel Sanders, 20 fantasy points this week from 9 catches and going for 111 yards. Last, making another return, we have Jeremy Maclin, who had 16 fantasy points from 8 catches and going for 85 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a recap on Donkey Kong's top 3 players this week. So with this matchup, I definitely think it went the way everyone thought it was going to go. DK, taking the win. Peekapoo, I definitely can't knock you this week. You did a couple of things, adjustments, putting Matt Ryan instead of Kaepernick. Fortunately, Kaepernick decided to show up this week. So, just remember, keep evolving, keep doing some changes if you can. I want to say, but, because your bench is not always going to win the game for you, you're not always going to get a tie. So with DK, definitely good win. I think it went the way everyone thought it was going to go. So with this, DK, you go on undefeated next week, and hopefully you got a better matchup and see if you can continue down this road. For our final matchup, we have Jack and Daxter's Eco Legend versus Polygon Man. Final score, 184 to 174, giving Jack and Daxter the win by 10 points. Let's break down Jack and Daxter's top 3 players this week. First up, we have Antonio Gates, who contributed 30 fantasy points from 9 catches, 92 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Big highlight was his return and his 100th career touchdown this week. Next up, we have Broncos defense and special teams, who contributed 29 fantasy points by only allowing their opponents to get 10 points, having 1 interception 2 fumble recoveries and 1 touchdown, as well as 4 sacks. Big play was Chris Harris Jr.'s pick 6, running all the way to the touchdown for 75 yards. Final player was Justin Forsett, who got 26 fantasy points from 21 carries, running for 121 yards, and also getting 1 touchdown. Here is Jack and Daxter's top 3 players this week.
Hello and good night.
Definitely the highlight matchup this week. When it came down to it, it was Keenan Allen going against Antonio Gates. That Monday game definitely, with Antonio Gates coming back, bringing Jack and Daxter back into the game, and then also giving them the win. Definitely the matchup to watch. I can't put it any other way. Great comeback for Jack and Daxter. If anybody was going to take and break this undefeated record for Jack and Daxter, it was Polygon Man. So, Jack and Daxter, you survive another week. Keep it moving. Hopefully you can keep it going. Just next week, be ready for your next matchup. You go on undefeated. Take that with some pride. And gotta say goodbye. Thanks for showing up. I'm always going to be here every Wednesday. So just a quick preview for next week's matchups. We got a rematch everyone's waiting for. Polygon Man going against Ghost of Sparta, who put him to shame in week 1. So let's see if Polygon Man can return the favor. And then we got still 2 teams undefeated, Jack and Daxter and DK. Let's see if next week either one of those 2 take a loss. As well, we got Linkit and Red Zone Weapon, who are going to try to get their first week as well next week. Definitely see how that goes. But I'm calling it the highlight matchup next week. Definitely one I'm hoping is, like I said previously, is the rematch between Polygon Man and Ghost of Sparta. So stay tuned next week and have a good one, guys. Before I leave, I just want to say, it's great doing the show, everything like that. But this month of October, as a little tribute or a little contribution to the league, I'm going to be running sort of a contest for you guys. So I was going to say this is the last video, but better late than never. So this month of October, the highest scoring team, I personally will purchase you a NFL fitted hat, just like mine. So if you're the highest scoring team this month of October, I will buy you an NFL hat. Just whoever it is, I'll let you know by November. Just send me your size for your head, all that stuff. I'm going to purchase it to you, get it out to you however I can. Whether you're East Coast or West Coast, you'll definitely get it. Just let me know the team you want. Also, I'm going to be getting the hat from Lids. So if you want to go onto the site and show me the specific hat you want, let me know. But that's definitely the little contest I'm going to personally make for Bend Don't Break this month. And as always, remember, we bend, we don't break. Catch you next week.